at a speed of almost 200 miles an hour. But this will not complete the mission. All the
our friends, the enemy in large numbers. Could we sit, yeah, you have Mr. Bevan and Mr. Gaitskell. Yes, you were. Sorry to interrupt you. Certain formalities have to be completed. Mr. Gaitskell, you're agreeable to this battery of interviews after the press conference? No, I don't say. No, what is delighted. We believe that our claims to represent Great Britain are very strong. We believe it is better to be represented, that we intend to be announced shortly. I shall probably be flying up. Well, I don't know how far you want. Mr. Gaitskell, what's your reaction to the news that the election is to be on October the 8th? Oh, it suits us fine, particularly if the weather continues good. Do you agree with Mr. Macmillan that the main issue will be who should represent us at a summit meeting? He didn't, in fact, say quite that, but I certainly agree, of course, this is an important issue. And I've already, in my statement, indicated what I think the answer should be. But I don't want to give the impression that I think that foreign policy is the only thing that matters. On the contrary, there are a number of very important issues on the home front. Pensions, for instance, housing, education, industrial expansion. We've got a bit of it just in the last few months, but all said and done for 3.5 years or so, we were just stagnant here. Is there any one issue you intend to concentrate on in fighting this election? No, I wouldn't say there was. I would say that we would fight it on a broad front, on both foreign policy, colonial policy, and home policy, especially the things that I've mentioned. The public opinion polls at the moment put you roughly 5% behind the Tories. Do you think you can make this deficit up in the time? Oh, yes, I do. First of all, I wouldn't take those polls as being absolutely the last word, you know. They very often go wrong. By-election results, I think, are very much more sure criterion of how you're doing, and on those we certainly are not 5 points down. But in any case, there are a large number of don't knows, and I think myself this election is one which will be determined very largely during the election. Mr. Gaitskell, the TUC Congress is at the moment debating the issue of the H-bomb. Mm-hmm. Do you think the disagreement among the unions will affect your election prospects? Not in the slightest. And I may say that the TUC General Council unanimously this morning decided to ask me to go up there, so it doesn't look as though the split is quite as large as appears. Thank you. Mr. Bevan, how far do you think Mr. Khrushchev will go to reach an agreement when he goes to America?
He doesn't expect to reach an agreement when he goes to America. That's not the intention. His intention is to create an atmosphere in which a subsequent agreement will be made easier. He won't be able to negotiate because President Eisenhower will not be able to negotiate. These two great powers will not be able to make settlements over the heads of their allies.
As Shadow Foreign Secretary, did he give you the impression that he expects or would expect a change of government in this country to mean a change of foreign policy?
Well, he is very well aware, of course, because I discussed it with him 2 years ago, that many of the most promising lines that are now emerging in the relationship between the great powers of the West follow from some of the declarations of policy the Labour movement in this country has made from time to time. Cessation of hydrogen bomb tests, the limitation in Central Europe of arms, including the two Germanys, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, and the Russians, of course, share our apprehensions that if the rearmament of Western Germany continues, it will be more difficult later on to obtain a settlement. So that in those respects, there is no doubt in my mind that it will be far better for the architects of the policies to have the chance of carrying them out.
Thank you very much.